Hey guys, what's up? Ready for some drama? Things just took a turn nobody expected. What was supposed to be a regular court day for Diddy allegedly ended in chaos when claims surfaced that his attorney exposed something shocking, an alleged HIV report with Diddy's name on it. I mean, he actually caught HIV after being with so many women. Oh yeah, let's just go down the rabbit hole of all his sins. And when those claims hit, Diddy wasn't acting like the confident mogul we've always seen before. Reports say he was breaking down, saying, "They dragged me. They set me up." People close to the case even said he looked like he was on the verge of tears. Jaguar Wright speculates this is because he realizes the truth is finally coming out about him. She explained that Diddy doesn't really love anyone. Everything he does is for money, but when there's no money exchange, people think it makes them special. In reality, not at all. Hold on. Doesn't that make sense, though? No, it really doesn't. Especially when you see your so-called straight boyfriend now doing gay parties and claiming it's only for money. Wow. And allegedly letting men go down on him for extra, but still insisting it's only for money. Okay, so here's the kicker. His attorney basically told the world, yes, Diddy is a swinger. He can't just walk into a swinging party. He has to hire people to come into his world and do those swinger things. These weren't small encounters either. These sessions involved multiple men, not just one-on-one action. And yet, people keep lying about it. Now, let's rewind. Diddy's been fighting off allegations for months. Lawsuits, rumors, wild party stories. Every time, he brushed it off. But this? If true, it's different. Because when health reports get leaked, especially something as serious as HIV, it's no longer gossip. That's real life. The streets started buzzing immediately, but then things got even messier. Right as this court drama unfolded, an old birthday party video with Meek Mill allegedly leaked. And it wasn't the kind of celebration people thought it was. Some say it looked more like an initiation into Diddy's twisted world. What's up, King's son? Man, you doing it. You deserve it, Daddy. You're putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you. The backstory. Diddy threw Meek a so-called birthday bash in Las Vegas at the Parisian Palace, $25,000 a night, the same weekend as Mayweather's big fight. The guest list was pure A-list, but the leaked details from that night? Insane. Matching outfits, lingerie dancers walking around like chess pieces. Even a naked woman laid out as a sushi platter. And when it was over, insiders said the mansion was trashed. Broken bottles, used condoms, bloodstained bedding, and substances scattered around. Then came viral audio allegedly recorded that night. Now, disclaimer, we can't play that audio because of YouTube policy. But don't worry, you can track it down online in seconds. Anyway, some say it caught Diddy and Meek in a compromising situation. The internet went wild. Meek immediately called the audio fake, saying it was AI generated to destroy him. He even posted, "My voice is so powerful as a black man from the ghetto. They want it gone. I'm under control of no human." Strong words, but people weren't convinced. Speculation flew. Some claimed one of Diddy's own bodyguards secretly recorded the audio. Others pointed the finger at Meek's ex, Nicki Minaj. Jaguar Wright even alleged Nicki paid someone to leak the tape. Later, Nicki herself joked on a podcast that Meek loves controversy and doesn't mind being dragged into drama. Coincidence? Maybe, but the public wasn't buying it. Gene Deal even claimed there were blood-stained sheets left behind at the party. He said property managers found loads of cocaine, razor blades, bloody sheets, and piles of used condoms. It was so bad they hit Diddy with another bill on top of the $25,000 rental fee. And here's where it all connects. Industry insiders like Jaguar Wright and Gene Deal have said for years that Diddy recorded these wild parties himself, allegedly keeping cameras rolling and using the footage as blackmail. Some claims even say there were over 250 hidden cameras inside his mansion. If the feds really got their hands on those tapes, we could see a domino effect across the entire industry. Celebrities, politicians, executives, even ministers. Hidden tapes, Jaguar Wright on HIV claims. A lot of people probably believe that rumor about the 250 cameras. But the bigger question is, what's actually on those tapes? And if the government has them, How much are they really willing to expose? Some insiders claim Diddy's entire mansion was wired, every room bugged, every interaction recorded. Former associates even testified in court that Diddy used these tapes as leverage, blackmailing celebrities, executives, politicians, and even people in ministry. Think about it. If the feds have all of that, this could cause a domino effect that takes down some of the most powerful people in America. But here's the twist. After the trial verdict, Gene Deal claimed the feds were covering everything up. He suggested they didn't raid Diddy because of the lawsuits, but because they wanted those tapes. And if that's true, then the real story isn't even about Diddy anymore. It's about who else is caught on those recordings. He went as far as naming names, claiming people like Prince Harry, top Universal executives, and big-name athletes were all present at Diddy's infamous parties. Diddy, according to him, made it cool for wealthy white executives to party with hood dudes. It was a bridge that gave him power and leverage. When his house was raided, investigators took computers and tapes. And here's the strange part. In court, prosecutors never used those tapes. Why? Because if they entered them as evidence, they'd have to be logged into public record. That would mean anyone, reporters, lawyers, even regular people, could eventually access them. So instead, prosecutors allegedly relied on a tape Cassie had turned over. Gene Deal insists the government intentionally avoided the mansion tapes because they were too explosive, protecting certain powerful figures instead. Now, that's just one storm, but the other is just as big. On one hand, there's this alleged HIV report dragging Diddy's name through court. On the other, there are leaked tapes and viral audios tying Meek Mill and others to his empire chaos. And the industry is asking the same question we are. Is Diddy really being set up like he claims, or are years of buried secrets finally crawling to the surface? According to Jaguar Wright, Diddy was diagnosed with HIV years ago and knew about it, but never shared that information with partners. She accused him of living recklessly, comparing him to countless men who claim to be undetectable but continue their lifestyles anyway. Wright even said she personally knows at least 20 men living with HIV, and hinted she might reveal their names on her own show. But she didn't stop there. Wright also challenged the public narrative about Diddy and Jay-Z's relationship. While Jay-Z's camp has downplayed their friendship as purely business, Wright insisted it was much deeper. She said their bond went beyond work, and she's been warning people for years. All these people he's been robbing for decades, she said. I know I'm responsible for him losing at least $125 million in the past 2 months. I say that with pride. When critics accuse her of bringing down black billionaires, Wright fired back. How can I bring someone down if I'm lying? How could I do that if I'm crazy? I don't need to be right. I just need everyone to admit they were wrong. She claims she's been leaving breadcrumb trails for years, small pieces of verifiable truth, so that people could look it up for themselves. In her words, if you can go find it, then it's not about me, it's about the truth. NBC criticism, Whitney Houston plus Clive Davis allegations. Jaguar Wright also blasted NBC for the way they were covering Diddy's case. She claimed the network was intentionally downplaying his alleged crimes because of his power and connections. According to Wright, the media has always protected Diddy, and not just Diddy. She pointed to Clive Davis, one of the most powerful executives in music history, as another untouchable figure. Wright claims Davis has been silencing stories for decades, even surrounding the tragic death of Whitney Houston. She alleged that Whitney's death was not an accident, but the result of something far more sinister connected to the industry's dark side. Wright even accused Davis of throwing a party downstairs at the Beverly Hilton, while Whitney's body was still upstairs in her hotel room. And she didn't stop there. Wright has repeatedly alleged that Whitney was blacklisted for trying to expose secrets about Davis and other executives. She insists the singer's downfall wasn't about drugs. It was about control. In Wright's view, these executives operate like a secret society, pulling strings behind the scenes, deciding who rises, who falls, and who gets erased. She compared it to an organized crime syndicate with billions of dollars at stake. She warned that if the public ever truly saw what was on Diddy's tapes, or the skeletons in Clive Davis's closet, the entire entertainment industry would collapse overnight. That's why, she claims, So many powerful forces are working overtime to suppress the truth. Jaguar on Quincy Jones, Tupac, Biggie, and the bigger cover-up theory. Jaguar Wright then shifted to Quincy Jones, calling him another untouchable figure in the industry. She claimed Quincy had deep ties to some of the biggest stars and scandals in music history, describing him as someone who owns half of Hollywood through secrets and leverage. According to her, Tupac once accused Quincy Jones of trying to manipulate and exploit young artists in ways that had nothing to do with music. Wright insists this confrontation is part of why Tupac became such a threat to the industry's power structure. She tied it back to Diddy, saying both Tupac and Biggie's deaths were part of a larger cover-up. Wright suggested that the same forces protecting Diddy today were the ones who silenced Tupac and Biggie decades ago. She argued their murders weren't random street beefs, but orchestrated hits tied to money, control, and the industry's darkest secrets. In her words, they don't just make stars, they make martyrs. And when you stop playing the game, you get sacrificed. Wright also pointed out how many people connected to Bad Boy Records, Death Row, and other labels from that era have either died young, gone broke, or disappeared from the public eye. She called it the industry graveyard, where careers and lives are buried once they stop being useful. According to her, the raid on Diddy isn't just about lawsuits or even about tapes. It's about protecting a system that's been running for decades, where blackmail, exploitation, and silence keep billionaires safe while artists get destroyed. She ended her rant with a warning. You can call me crazy all you want, but crazy doesn't make me wrong. You'll see soon enough. Everything in the dark comes to light. Jaguar's message to fans breadcrumb trails industry collapse. Jaguar Wright closed with a direct message to the public. She said people often dismiss her as crazy, but reminded them that everything she's revealed can be traced back if you're willing to dig. I've been leaving breadcrumbs for years, she said. If you think I'm lying, go look it up. If you can find it for yourself, then it's not about me, it's about the truth. She insisted she doesn't care if people believe her or not. What matters, she said, is that people start questioning the industry's narrative and stop worshiping false idols. Wright doubled down on her claim that Diddy's HIV status, his tapes, and his connections to executives like Clive Davis and Quincy Jones are all part of the same story. A story about power, exploitation, and control. She predicted that once the truth finally comes out, the entertainment industry, as we know it, will collapse. When the tapes leak, and they will, this whole thing burns to ground, she warned. The celebrities you thought you knew, the executives you never see, the politicians that show up at these parties, they'll all be exposed. In her final words, she left no doubt about where she stands. I don't need to be right. I just need the truth to win, and it will.